Yo, what's up, guys? Coming back with another video. Got the inspiration from Tip You in the App on YouTube. Just saw like a quick clip of him saying why your Uber driver talks. I was like, wait, there's a lot of reasons why I talk. So I looked at it. I skimmed the video, but I was like, oh, that's a good topic. Let people know why the Uber driver might be talking to him. Because I know a lot of people will get in the car. A lot of people will get in the car and they just want to be to themselves. I notice a lot of young people are like that. A lot of teenagers, a lot of kids. I don't know. It's like they feel that intimidation from an adult, kind of. And I notice it's either younger women to teenage girls, teenage African American boys, to young ones. But yeah, other than that, like if I pick up somebody who's like, they're like, maybe I would say this: if their parents raise them, or if they have a lot of experience communicating with adults, they're not afraid to talk. They're going to talk, and it's the most enjoyable rides for me is when my passengers talk with me. Because okay, let me get to so Uber drivers, we ask questions for multiple. I'm sorry, got a puppy here playing with a squeaky toy. But Uber drivers, we ask questions for multiple reasons. Levi, Tip You in the App, he mentioned we want to see how drunk you are. Yeah, kinda, right? I think that fits under the umbrella of we want to figure out who's in our car. You know, you wanna find out who's in your car and the mental state that they're in. Because you don't want to pick up somebody who's having a bad night. And, so one thing that I do, I always ask before they get to the car, or if I go to a sketchy area, I'll ask people before I unlock my doors, I ask their name. What's your name, man? Like last night, I picked up a teenage boy. What's your name, man? My dad got it for me. Okay. What's his name? I think it's under Sincere. Sincere wasn't the person I was supposed to be picking up. His name, and I was supposed to be picking up somebody named Malik. He said his dad's name was Sincere. I wasn't supposed to be picking up a Sincere. I was supposed to be picking up a Malik. His name was something else. So I was like, I didn't want to cause him any more trouble, and I needed the money. So I was like, all right, come on, get in the car. He gets in. He sits down. He looks up at the front at my phone, and he's like, oh, my brother got it. Okay. If I was having just a slightly worse of a night, I probably would have just drove off on him. But I was like, whatever. I don't feel like doing whatever. Just come on, get in the car. This happens a lot where people will get somebody in Uber and they don't get it, or they don't go through the proper procedure to get them a guest ride. If you get somebody in Uber, you literally can say it's for them and not for you. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why us Uber drivers talk. We want to figure out who's in our car. We figure out where you're going. If you tell us an address, that means like you really are supposed to be in the car at that point. Because I also asked the young man, what's the address we're going to? He got it right on the spot. But yeah, we ask, what's your name? What's the address you're going to? Because we want to know who just got in our car or who's attempting to get in our car. We also, another reason we talk is, or ask questions is, sometimes it breaks ice. Like Levi said, some people want to talk. Some people really like talking. If you break that ice for them and you allow them to now be themselves in a sense and talk and ask questions and stuff like that, the ride will be much better, because then you really know who's in your car. Like if you see me, like if no haircut, no facial hair. I mean, facial hair more bushy. I'm looking. My wife says I look homeless when I don't like trim or anything like that. But if I got an Uber, got in somebody's car, no glasses, and I figure like, okay, that's like one of my things. I think glasses makes someone not as intimidating. And being African American in the United States, I feel like that helps out a lot. But like if I were to get in a car and somebody just sees me, they're like, okay, who the hell is this black guy who just got in my car? And then once I open my mouth and I start to speak, they might be like, oh, this guy, he's a normal guy. Okay. So that we're trying to figure out, as a driver, I want to know who's in my car. So yeah, you talk and you allow people to open up and be themselves. And if you allow them to open up and be them, you allow them to open up a bit, they might start talking about their day and this and that, or they just might. I've spoke to some people before. We're just talking about normal stuff, or just you get the name out of the way, you get where they're going out of the way, you get the how you doing out of the way. And then they just start going off about their life, or sometimes it can be awkward trying to break that ice, because because you got some people who get in a car and they just feel standoffish. They just want to get in your car and go to where they want to go, and those are the people that are just replying in short, yes, no, good, yeah, those ones. I don't really like to. As soon when I feel that, I'm like, okay, I have no idea who the fuck's in my car. I have no idea how they're feeling. I kind of don't even want to do the trip now because I don't know who's in my back seat. So as I'm driving, I'm always, cutting my eye back there just to, and I'll play it off like I'm looking both ways and stuff like that, like I'm just looking around, but I'm really looking in the back seat because I'm like, all right, who is this? They're standoffish. They're not really trying to talk. And sometimes you could just tell, like, oh, they're a teenager. Oh, she's a teenage girl. She may have heard things. She might be, afraid for her safety. Stuff like that. But if they talk to me, they hear. I mean, that's like a whole nother subject. But that's just me saying I'm not that kind of guy. So if you spoke to me, you'd get it. Like, oh, this guy's just an Uber driver. Okay. But anyway, like, yeah, you want to feel who's in your car. You want to make them feel better too. But a lot of times, like, people, they don't want to feel better. Or, they're just trying to deal with their grievances by themselves. Another reason I can think us Uber drivers ask questions or talk a lot is you might got a talkative Uber driver. Once you get me to talking, I won't stop. Like I literally have to apologize sometimes. Like I feel like I got I'm pretty sure I have undiagnosed ADHD. I might even be neurodivergent. If we start talking and it's about something that I've did that research into, like they start asking about my car, which is a Tesla. Oh, I have to mentally put roadblocks, put hurdles in my head so I can stop, so they can talk. Because I will info dump, and one of the reasons I info dump is because I know people are gonna. Because usually, if they're asking about the car, it's one question after another, and it can get tiring. I don't know. It's weird. I don't like the back and forth, but I gotta do the back and forth, and you kind of want to do the back and forth to see who's in your car. But when it's like, I don't like hey, what about this? Here's an answer. What about that? Here's an answer. What about this? Here's an answer. So this is why I info dump. I'm going to give you everything so you don't have to ask another question. But that can be kind of overwhelming because then I feel like people, they just go like, damn, this motherfucker just talked a hole in my head. I'm like, I'm sorry for talking a hole in your head, but and they were like, oh, no, 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 no. Thanks for all the information. Because they got so many questions about the car. But then I prefer it if they are asking a lot of questions. Like the other day, I had a guy, he wanted to sit in the front seat. I let him sit in the front seat. We're driving, and he's just talking and talking. And I try to interject, right? When you think it's your turn to talk, because he paused. And then he just kept going. So about the third time after I tried to talk, I just had to talk as well. While he was talking, I just had to say something. I'm like, all right, if I don't say this, I won't be able to say it. So I just spoke, and as I'm speaking, he still was talking. All right, whatever. I didn't care about that, though. I'd rather you do something like that than for me to info dump on you. But yeah, Uber drivers want to feel who's in the car. We want to get a gauge for the rider. For all we know, you might be going to the wrong place or something like that. We're just trying to get as much information as we can being in that driver's seat. So, and then also sometimes a good conversation leads to a decent tip. Like I said in my previous video, I was just giving a guy stories about my Ubering and stuff, and he told me, or he gave me a $50 tip because he was like a good conversation. Appreciate it. So yeah, if you can think of any more reasons why Uber drivers talk, let me know in the comments. But I can't think of any other than what I mentioned. Well, all right, peace out. I'm about to watch this new episode of One Piece if it's out. Holla at y'all. Deuces.